Everybody knows the basics: eat less, move more, and train. But what nobody tells you is the cost between where you're at right now and to get six-pack abs. And that cost is where most guys will quit. Because wanting abs and accepting the work you have to do to get the abs, the cost of that are two different things completely. To clear it up to start off with, you've already got six-pack abs. You just can't fucking see it. Everybody has a set of abs, okay? The thing that's actually going to determine whether you see them or not is how lean you are, okay? And how much muscle you've got. You're probably just underestimating how much body fat you've actually got to lose to get a set of abs. A lot of guys come to me and they're like, I've got 5-6 kilos to lose. And they couldn't be further from the truth. Take Brandon, for example. When he started with me, he was 100 kilos. He lost 23 kilos of body fat to see his abs for the first time in his life. Can you imagine how disappointed he would have been by going alone and actually losing 5 or 6 kilos and his abs being miles off? He would have just fucked it off and gone back to normal. The interesting bit isn't losing that first 5 or 10 kilos, okay? A lot of guys can do that themselves and get into half decent nick. But half decent nick and six-pack abs, there's a long journey in front of you, and I'm gonna break down exactly what you need to do to make that happen. Think about every time you started a diet in the past, okay? Weeks 1 to 4 to 5, they're pretty easy. You're feeling good, you're feeling better, you're more energy, you're eating better, you're in the gym, you're starting to see some changes in your physique. Life is fucking good at this point, and honestly, ride the wave. Because trying to get to six-pack abs, you're gonna have to be 10% body fat or thereabouts. Your body doesn't want to operate there, and things aren't gonna stay that nice forever. Things start to change, okay? Hunger levels are gonna start to pick up. You eat a meal, you finish a meal, and you'll still be hungry after you finish it, and that's gonna test your adherence to a budget, okay? On top of that, your energy levels will start to drop naturally. It shouldn't be all the time, and if it is all the time, I'd look at the size of your deficit you're creating. But certainly, going for a walk and feeling like you're dragging your feet, or cardio feeling twice as long, is pretty fucking common. You also start to panic and think that you're losing muscle. When you're in a deficit, your body doesn't just attack body fat, it eats stored energy. So glycogen as well. That's what gives your muscles that level of fullness and makes you feel like you're big. So that glycogen starts to drop out. You start to think you're losing muscle. You feel skinny. You feel skinny, especially in clothes and t-shirts. You might have someone give you a comment saying, fucking hell, mate, you're looking like you lost a bit too much weight here. And it starts to play with your head and you start to try and justify, maybe I should stop here. All of these things combined is where people start to interpret that as something is going wrong. So they look for reasons to stop. Maybe nothing's going wrong, and this is the exact journey it takes to get six-pack abs. You're talking about getting a 1% physique. How many people actually have abs? Not many. So you're gonna have to go through a lot more than a lot of people will tolerate to get to that result. That's what makes it so desirable, right? If you're feeling these feelings, your plan might need a little bit of adjusting, but don't adjust the whole fucking goal because you've had 3 hard days back to back. So what do the lads who actually get there do differently to what you're doing? And it comes down to these 3 decisions. Decision 1 is they accept the process, okay? For this amount of time, I'm gonna tolerate X so I can get to Y, and Y means enough. I like having abs, so for 10 weeks, I'm gonna commit to this deficit no matter how I'm feeling, so at the end goal, I will have the result I want. This isn't about consenting to having the abs. This is about consenting to the process it's gonna take to get the abs. That's what makes it feel so good at the end of the day. They don't negotiate on how they're feeling day to day, okay? They track their data, they look at the trends over time, and they don't react emotionally in the moments to stuff. Feeling a little bit flattered today doesn't mean you need a refeed day. If you're hungry, it doesn't mean you need to eat right now. If you're tired, it doesn't mean you can sack off your cardio right now. Stick to the plan and not your feelings. I'm not saying that you have to suffer every single step of the way, and if you are suffering every step of the way, the plan probably does need adjusting. A good plan is going to make things as manageable as possible, but you can never outprogram the reality of getting six-pack abs. It is tough, and they focus on becoming the person to get the result instead of the result. How does a person with six-pack abs show up on a week-to-week basis? What does their food look like? What steps do they do? How do they train? Because when you focus on becoming the person in the process, okay, the result looks up for itself. When you just try and focus on the result and you get too focused on that end result, you're going to try and cut corners and you're just not going to think and act like the person. Getting abs isn't complicated, but simple and easy are 2 complete different things, and that is something that trips people up. They go into the process expecting it's going to be all fun and you're always going to have energy and every day is going to feel better and better and better. But there's a tipping point, okay? Once you get to around 15% body fat, if you want to carry on going and pushing to get your body into a better condition, your body will start to fight that process a little bit more. It is just a simple survival mechanism, okay? If everybody was walking around shredded all the time, there's not a lot of energy reserved on you, you'd starve to death. We're not cavemen, so it doesn't fucking matter. Except that it is going to be hard on the way down, but once you get to that result, you reverse out properly, you can maintain that physique a lot easier on considerable amounts more food. It isn't uncommon for my clients to eat up to 1,000 calories more a day in just 4 weeks. I've put a calorie calculator in the link below that's going to help you set up your deficit based on your lifestyle, monitor your body weight every week, and aim to lose around 1 pound to 2 pounds of body fat per week, and keep adjusting to keep that rate of loss sustainable. Getting lean is only one half of the equation, but keeping it forever, that is a whole different ball game. I've put another video that I linked here showing you how you can actually stay lean year round. So give that video a watch. If you found this video useful, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.